Satang Prasanna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families. Please take heed because the spike of the virus is increasing all over the world. I think yesterday India alone was almost 20,000 people. America also 42,000 people. So please be careful, don't underestimate it, and please sanitize properly so that the simple act can actually save a life. So we're moving on to today's session, and the sutra reads as follows. Beware of discontent and its throwing of blame on the imperfectness of external circumstances. Discontentment is an internal state, independent of external circumstances. In the philosophy of life, in trying to understand how life works, there's a very interesting aphorism that comes there. It says, in understanding certainty, the only thing that is certain is that there is uncertainty. Everything about life is uncertain. Therefore, we need proper knowledge, bona fide knowledge, authoritative knowledge. So how does one find this kind of knowledge? When we're looking at our lives, especially when a huge calamity has overcome us and it's persistent and it's ongoing, it's not just an event, it's ongoing. What do? Firstly, we got to understand that there's 4 levels of karma. We discussed this in a previous video. And although we may be living righteous lives right now, this is why it's becoming confusing, that I'm living a righteous life, I'm giving my donation in the temple. So why is this happening to me? So it's not a reaction that's coming from now, it could be parabdha karma. We discussed this as the maize which is put into a siphon, and then when you drop it at the top, it's only a matter of time. You don't know when, but it's a matter of time before it comes out at the bottom. So that parabdha karma has caught up with us, and it has manifested now, and therefore it's so overwhelming. So although our lives and lifestyle is righteous, our parabdha karma has caught up from a previous life or from a previous event in life, and it has overwhelmed us. Therefore, Arjuna also had the same difficulty, and he asked Krishna that what is dharma? Because I'm living my life righteously, I'm living my life dharmically, so why is bad things still happening to me? Karpanya dosha prahatasvabhava prichanti tvam dharma samoda chaita. What is dharma? 2.7 Bhagavad Gita. So how should I know how to understand this? Because my whole life I lived righteously, and now how can such a bad thing happen to me? Well, it's parabdha karma. It's karma that's coming from a previous life or in an event in this life. So first understand that point. If we want understanding, we need to accept Krishna's understanding of it. So it says in today's sutra, beware of discontentment and its throwing of blame on the imperfectness of external circumstances. So we've become so conditioned to this state of thinking. In the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada describes this in one purport as the camel eating thorns. The camel is eating thorns, and then he tastes the salt in his blood, and he enjoys it. Because grass doesn't taste like that, everything else is bland. So this has got a bit of salt. What is this taste? This must be coming from the thorns. And he keeps on eating thorns, keeps on cutting his mouth, and keeps on drinking his own blood. This is real foolishness. Therefore, we need transcendental knowledge to help us. Because where did this construct come from? This is a superimposed construct of the mind, that I'm a good person, therefore only good must happen to me. Why? This world is not a place designed like that. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. This is what's the nature of this world. It's a place of suffering. So we haven't accepted that point, and we're expecting a utopia experience in a place of suffering. This is why the Shastra says what we experience as enjoyment is just relief from the suffering. And that for us is, it's so enjoyable. But it's just relief. We have no idea what is Ananda. We're just dabbling around in the realm of happiness. But what is bliss, Ananda? That only a spiritual experience can give you. And usually when we can't make sense of it, then we open the book, not Facebook or Bhagavad Gita. We go to the Panditji and we ask him, Panditji, just check what's happening there. He goes, too much things are going bad. I think my Rahu and Ketu, Sunny Bhagavan came visiting. So, too much bad things happening, too much. I remember I had a South Indian friend from who was an astrologer in Vrindavan, and he would say, he would look at your chart and say, Prabhuji, Rahu is running here. So I would tell him, Rahu is running? Who is chasing him? My life looks like I'm running. Don't worry about Rahu. So we consult astrology just to check, maybe the planets are not aligned. Devotional service is beyond all of this. Devotional service is akarma. It's beyond all of this. Therefore, there is no resultant effect as in karma. It's devotional. It comes in the resultant comes in the way of mercy from Krishna. Therefore, it also says in the Bible that he who is free from sin, let him cast the first stone. So, in the deeper recesses of our mind, we feel we're free from sin. Therefore, nothing bad should happen to us. And we believe this so strongly that when something does happen, and it's overwhelming, it's too much. Therefore, when Arjuna was confused, Krishna told him, Tat vidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. That Arjun, if you're confused, you should approach somebody who knows, Guru. First, render service unto him, because this self-realized soul, he's tattva darshi. He's seeing it as it is. He's not seeing it as you have constructed it in your mind. Therefore, he can tell you as it is. This is how it is. So, Upadesh Shantite Jnanam, this Upadesh, the instructions, you get it from that person. Don't take it from your mind, because your mind will mislead you. It's a material construct from society. So, therefore, it will reflect those values. But this values that the Guru is giving, coming through scripture, is transcendental. Therefore, Jnaninas Tattva Darshanaha, that person can help you. We are so disconnected from nature. Therefore, it's so easy to throw the blame because it avoids taking responsibility. We have to take ownership of our lives. We have to take ownership, responsibility of the direction that we're heading. We can't blame that on somebody else. If the laws of nature are axiomatic, they don't change and they're perfect, then this is a perfect reaction that I'm getting, because I must have done something in the past. And if you look at our lives, every moment there's a potential to do something wrong, some sinful reaction, some sinful activity. So if we use the higher level of knowledge, transcendental knowledge, then we can see, we have a better picture of what's going on now and why this has possibly happened to me. So Srila Prabhupada describes this as trying to hold on to this superposition is like trying to hold on to the dog's tail and trying to swim across the ocean. That animal itself is struggling, and because its tail is sticking out, you hold on to that and you expect it to take you across the ocean. That's our limited fund of knowledge. Therefore, we just take shelter of Krishna, irrespective of what the result is. And there's a very beautiful verse that comes in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, one of the most powerful verses, 10.88.8. It describes, Yasyaham anugranami harisya tad dhanam shanai tato dhanam tyajanti tasya swajana dukkha dukkitam. Is describing there, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of God, had said, if I especially favor someone, then I take away everything. I take away all his wealth. And by doing that, then his family and relatives discard him. They treat him badly because now he doesn't have money. So no money, he's not a provider anymore, he's not needed. This is the mentality of society today. And by being discarded by his family, he suffers great distress. But in this way, I become his only shelter. No other alternative. So we see Srila Prabhupada had a similar, in one of the lectures, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, this had happened to me. He had a very productive pharmacy, Krishna took it away. He tried to work with his god brothers in uncooperative. Then he started his mission, and from that he went to America with 40 rupees. Even his son Vrindavan Chandra tells us that 40 rupees his father gave it to him on the boat before he left. So Prabhupada actually went with nothing. And when he came back, 108 temples all over the world. So this is Krishna. This is why we were saying in the earlier videos, we have to know his majesty, know how powerful Krishna is first, before we want to understand his sweetness, how kind he can be. Both things have to be understood, and we see that in Krishna Leela. He manifests, even in Vrindavan, although it's Madhurya Dham, he also manifests his power from time to time there, because it's also Swabhaviki, it's part of his nature. And it confuses the Brajbasis because they are so absorbed in sweetness. But it's also part of Krishna's feature, lifting Govardhan. That's not possible just for anyone to do. Killing the demons, they can't believe it. How can he do this? He's a small child, small boy. But to understand Krishna means to understand both of these. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.